Welcome back, my dear students. Multiplying fractions. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to multiply fractions by whole numbers and fractions by fractions. First, to multiply a whole number by a fraction, we should write the whole number as a fraction, then we multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. So, let's show this in the example. We have a whole number 2 multiplied by a fraction 2/5. So what we are going to do is we're going to write the whole number 2 as a fraction over 1. So any whole number can be written as a whole number over 1. This is in the fraction form. So now you have 2 over 1 multiplied by 2 over 5. And this, in multiplication, you multiply numerators together, so you multiply 2 times 2, and you multiply denominators together, which is 1 times 5. Now 2 times 2 is 4, and 1 times 5 is 5. Is this the simplest form, or do we have to simplify more? Yes, this is the simplest form, so we just leave it like this. Another example, we have 3/5 multiplied by the whole number 4. Again, to write the 4, which is a whole number, as a fraction, we write it over 1. Now you have 3/5 multiplied by 4 over 1. Again, you multiply numerators together and you multiply denominators together. 3 times 4, this is the numerator, and 5 multiplied by 1, this is the denominator. 3 times 4 is 12, and 5 times 1 is 5. Now, if you see here, is this the simplest form? Yes, because we cannot simplify 12 and 5 more than this, but we can write both of them. 12 over 5, you can write it as a mixed number. Why mixed number? Because 12 as a numerator is greater than the denominator 5. So this can be written as a mixed number. And to write this as a mixed number, we will do something here. We will make 12 divided by 5 as a long division. 12 divided by 5 equal 2. 2 times 5 is 10, and the remainder is 2. So to write the mixed number, we do it like this. This is the quotient, so I will write it as the whole number. And this is the remainder, I will write it as a numerator over the same denominator here, 5. This is the mixed number form. One more example, 1 over 4 times 5. Again, we will write the whole number over 1. Now we multiply, so we have 1 over 4 multiplied by 5 over 1. Again, we multiply numerators together, and we multiply denominators together. 1 times 5 in the numerator, 4 times 1 in the denominator. This will be 5 over 4. Is this the simplest form, or we have a greatest common factor that we can divide 5 and 4 by? Yes, this is the simplest form, but again, this is an improper fraction, so we have to write it in a mixed number form. So we will divide here 5 over 4. 5 divided by 4 equal 1. 1 times 4 is 4, and the remainder is 1. Again, this is the quotient, so I write it as the whole number part. And the remainder, I write it as the numerator. And again, what is the denominator? 4. I keep it as it is. So this is the final answer. Another example. Find 1 over 3 times 1 over 4 and write in simplest form. So we want to multiply 1/3 times 1/4, and we write them in simplest form. So let me write it here. Here you have two fractions. As you see, there is no whole number. Both of them are fractions. So directly we will multiply numerators and we multiply denominators. 1 times 1 up, and 3 times 4 down. So 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times 4 is 12. Is this the simplest form? Yes, of course, this is the simplest form because 1 and 12 has no common factor, only 1. Now, to simplify before multiplying. Some cases we have to simplify before we multiply. This will make it easier for us. So, if the numerators and the denominators have a common factor, you can simplify before you multiply. And remember that factors means that two numbers that are multiplied together to form a product. So, let us see here an example. We have 3/4 multiplied by 5/6. We have to multiply numerators together, and we have to multiply also denominators together. So this should be like this. 3/4 times 5/6. I multiply 3 times 5 over 4 times 6. Here, before we multiply and then we divide, we look at the numerators and the denominators. Do we have any number up and a number down that have a common factor between them? We have here 3 and we have 4 and 6. Yes, who can tell me? Yes, 3 and 6 have a common factor, which is 3. Okay, look at 5 and 4. Do we have a common factor between them? No, so only 3 and 6. So we will divide the 3 over 3, and the 6 also we divided by 3. Now 3 divided by 3 equals 1, so we have here 1, and here 6 divided by 3 equal 2. So what we got here is 1 instead of 3 now, multiplied by 5 as it is, and the 4 as it is, and instead of 6 it became 2 because we divided the 6 by 3. Now it's easier. 1 times 5 is 5, and 4 times 2 is 8. Do we have any common factor between 5 and 8? No. Is this the simplest form? Yes. Is this a proper fraction or improper fraction? It is a proper fraction because the numerator is less than the denominator, so this is the final answer here. Another example, 4/9 multiplied by 18. Here the 18 is a whole number, so remember, if it's a whole number, I write it as over 1. Now 4/9 multiplied by 18 over 1. We have 4 times 18 in the numerator, 9 times 1 in the denominator. Now again, look, instead of multiplying then dividing, if we have common factors between the numerators and denominators, so that we can make it easy for us. 4 and 9, there is no common factor. What about 18 and 9? Yes, of course. Both of them can be divided by 9. So we will divide this by 9 to get 1. And this one we will be divided also by 9 to get 2. Very good. So instead of the numbers, the large numbers here, we got 4 times 2 instead of 4 times 18. So we now have 4 multiplied by 2, and in the denominator we have 1 times 1. It's so easy now, which is 8 over 1, which is 8. And of course, this is the final answer. Example. Here we have 3/5 multiplied by 5/6. Both of them are fractions, so we directly multiply numerators, multiply the denominators. Here we have 3/5 multiplied by 5/6. This will be 3 multiplied by 5 over 5 multiplied by 6. Who can tell me? This is so obvious that we have a common factor between 5 and 5, which is 5. So 5 divided 5 equal 1. 5 divided 5 equal 1. We also have here a common factor between 3 and 6, which is 3. So 3 divided by 3 equal 1, and 6 divided by 3 equal 2. So what is the result here? 1 multiplied by 1, and the denominator is 1 multiplied by 2. Here is equal to 1 over 2, and this is the final answer. Here we have 2/3 multiplied by 4/5. Again, you have two fractions. You multiply numerators, multiply denominators. In the numerators, I will write it here again here. then we multiply. You have 2 times 4 over 3 times 5. Do we have any common numbers or common factors between the numerators and the denominators? We have here 2 and 4, and here we have 3 and 5. Do we have any common factor? No, we don't have. So we just multiply normally. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 5 is 15. Do we have any common factor between 8 and 15 so that we can simplify? No, this is the simplest form, and this is a proper fraction, so I will not make it a mixed number. So this is the final answer. So kindly subscribe if you like the video, and I hope you enjoy it and you understand. To the next video. Bye.